Want to know why most people will never achieve financial freedom? Robert Kiyosaki's Cash Flow Guide exposes the hidden traps keeping you broke. Watch this video to the end and learn how to break free from financial slavery. Let's get straight into it. The Cash Flow Quadrant maps out the 4 ways people earn money: as employees, self-employed individuals, business owners, and investors. These aren't just labels, they're entirely different worlds, each with its own rules and pitfalls. Most people never realize that where they stand on this map shapes their financial destiny. The Employee Quadrant. The Employee Quadrant is where most of us start. We're taught to go to school, get a good job, and climb the corporate ladder. And when you're in it, it feels safe. There's a steady paycheck, health benefits, maybe even a retirement plan. I spent my first few years in the financial world as an employee. I learned the ropes, worked hard, and enjoyed the illusion of stability. But after 3 years, something hit me. I was just repeating the same tasks year after year, watching tiny changes unfold at a snail's pace. It felt like being on a treadmill. I was putting in the effort, but not really getting anywhere. And that's the trap. Employees trade time for money, and there's only so much time you can trade. Your financial growth is capped by the number of hours you can work. The company controls your value, and if the economy shifts or a new management team takes over, your job and the security you thought you had can disappear overnight. I saw it happen to colleagues who suddenly found themselves out of work because of restructuring. One day, they were part of the team, the next, they were packing up their desks. This doesn't mean having a job is bad, but if you're relying on a paycheck alone, your financial future is in someone else's hands. You're putting your fate in the hands of a company that, in the end, is only as loyal as the market demands. If that doesn't sit right with you, then it's time to look beyond the Employee Quadrant. The Self-Employed Quadrant. So what's the next step? Many of us think, why not be my own boss? That's the Self-Employed Quadrant, the place where independence seems like the ultimate prize. I took this leap myself, eager to leave behind the repetitive corporate routine. Life instantly became more exciting. I had the freedom to make my own decisions, work my own hours, and finally feel in control. But let me tell you, being self-employed brought its own set of challenges. Suddenly, I was responsible for everything: finding clients, managing my time, and even doing my own bookkeeping. My first investments in further training were complete disasters. I poured thousands of dollars into courses that promised big returns but delivered nothing but frustration. At times, it felt like I was just spinning my wheels, running in circles in a self-made hamster wheel. You see, the trap of the self-employed quadrant is that you're still trading time for money. It doesn't matter if you're a freelancer, a dentist, or a private consultant. If you're not working, you're not earning. Jane, a freelance graphic designer I knew, loved the idea of setting her own rates and choosing her clients. But whenever she took a vacation or even just a day off, her income dried up. She wasn't free. She was a prisoner to her own success. If you stay stuck here, you'll always be limited by the hours you can work and the clients you can serve. The solution? Think bigger. It's time to shift from being self-employed to being a true business owner, where your income isn't tied to your time. The Business Owner Quadrant. The Business Owner Quadrant is a whole new ballgame. It's not about doing all the work yourself. It's about building a system where the work gets done whether you're there or not. This is where I started to see real transformation in my life. I stopped thinking about how much work I could do and started thinking about how I could create systems and hire the right people to do the work for me. I remember when I started building scalable products like email funnels, YouTube videos, and books. It felt like magic. Suddenly, I wasn't limited by the hours in my day. I could reach more people and generate income without having to be there in person. The real turning point came when I learned to bring my employees into their strengths. I started focusing on letting them do what they were best at while I focused on growing the business. Take Bill, a restaurant owner I know. In the beginning, he was the chef, manager, and cashier all rolled into one. But he didn't want to stay in that S quadrant forever. So he hired staff, trained a manager, and soon he was opening multiple locations. Bill's income grew even when he wasn't there because he had built a system that ran itself. That's the power of the business owner quadrant. It's not just about working harder, it's about building something that works for you. But don't be mistaken, this quadrant still comes with risks. It takes a leap of faith to trust others and invest in building systems, and not every business survives the transition. However, when it does, it opens the door to even greater financial freedom, the kind that's only found in the investor quadrant. The investor quadrant. Now, the investor quadrant is where you achieve true financial freedom. Here you don't work for money, your money works for you. This is where you invest in assets that generate passive income, whether it's stocks, real estate, or ownership stakes in other businesses. You're not just creating wealth, you're multiplying it. I remember meeting Mark, a real estate investor who started with just one rental property. It wasn't much, but it covered some bills and gave him a little extra cash each month. Instead of splurging on a fancy vacation, he reinvested those profits into buying more properties. 10 years later, Mark has a portfolio that brings in more income each month than he used to earn in the entire year at his old job. That's the investor quadrant, where your money earns money even while you sleep. The beauty of this quadrant is that it doesn't require you to be wealthy to start. What it does require is a mindset shift. You don't need to wait for a windfall or a lottery win to begin investing. Start small, educate yourself, and let your assets grow over time. Every dollar you invest is a soldier working tirelessly to build your financial fortress. Why understanding the quadrants matters. The cash flow quadrant isn't just a theory. It's a map that shows you the way out of the financial trap. When I first grasped these concepts, it changed the way I viewed money forever. I stopped thinking of income as something I had to work for directly. I started focusing on building assets, creating scalable systems, and letting my money work for me. Most people never make it past the employee or self-employed quadrants because they don't realize there's another way. They keep trading time for money without understanding that the real wealth is built on the right side of the quadrant as a business owner or investor. So, where are you right now in the cash flow quadrant? Are you an employee hoping for a raise? Are you self-employed grinding out every dollar? Or are you ready to shift your mindset, start building assets, and break free from the cycle? Remember, the cash flow quadrant is your guide to escaping financial slavery. If you want to achieve financial freedom, you can't just keep working harder. You need to start working smarter, thinking in systems, and building income streams that don't depend on your time. If you want to dive deeper into understanding money and changing your financial destiny, don't miss the next video, Why We Overspend, the Psychology of Money. Discover the hidden forces shaping your spending habits and learn how to gain control. Click to watch now. You can't afford to miss it.